Hi, I'm Lizzie Lassiter, and this is three poses to pause for your period, or honestly, anytime you're feeling drained. I hope you have found your way to this video because you are subscribed to my newsletter, Rest with Lizzie Lassiter, which you can find here at www.lizzie.yoga. My newsletter comes out every Sunday, and it's basically a digital hug to remind you to rest. Today, we're going to do three poses: a supported child's pose, a supported Virasana pose, hero's pose, and a Shavasana. So you'll need two blankets, a bolster, and a block if you have them. Otherwise, make do with whatever you have around the house. Remember, yoga is not about putting yourself into a perfect shape. The shape is not the magic in asana practice. A reminder for all of us, myself included, more and more what I'm finding, feeling, experiencing yoga is about, my asana practice is about moving towards shapes, moving into shapes, finding shapes that feel good, and then connecting my awareness to the breath and to the sensation and to the present moment. So the magnitude of the shape that you make is not the magic. Any amount of the pose contains the entire pose, which is to say, do less, do half, try it. Please do not do any of these poses. Do not stay in any of these poses if they don't feel good, especially on your knees today. Just might not be right for you. Okay, let's move to the mat. Our first pose is a supported child's pose. It's a little bit inverted is how I think of it. So I'm going to sit on a block, which is what my knees like to do, and open my knees quite wide. Then I'm going to take a blanket and fold it up and put it between my legs. So it's elevating the bolster here. And then the bolster sits on top. And why this is great for your period is the pressure of the bolster against the belly feels really soothing. Third eye mask, designed by me. You can also find it on my website. Looks like this, sage green. Now I take the bolster and press it in towards my belly, and then I'm going to fold forward. Turn my head to one side. We'll stay a few minutes breathing into the back body here, breathing into the kidneys, rounding forward. No discomfort in the knees. Letting yourself be fully supported by the bolster. Few minutes of silence here, and then I'll let you know when it's time to turn the head to the other side. Now turn your head to the second side. Turn your head down towards the bolster. And with an inhalation, press yourself up to sitting. From the lineage I come from, my mom, Judith Hansen Lassiter, and her teacher, BKS Iyengar, it's always been taught that when you're on your cycle, you take a different practice. And I love that, honoring the experience of the body, the unseen cycles, natural cycles of the body, and honoring that, mirroring that in my physical asana practice. I'm also just not as interested in chaturanga when I'm on my cycle. It's nice to take supported forward bends and restorative poses, not inversions, during those few days. And I have also enjoyed that for the past couple of decades as a monthly reminder of a slower practice. And that has served me at other times in my life, not necessarily based on my period, but based on being sick, recovering from COVID, recovering from pregnancy, during pregnancy, postpartum, these phases that I've had where my asana practice wanted to be gentler. I already had in some ways a template or a relationship with practice that was not primarily about physical challenge. The next pose is supported virasana. So we will use the same bolster and we'll take the block out from behind the knees and place it at the end of the bolster like that. And then be careful when you stand up. It's nice to just stand up straight into Uttanasana, drop the head so you don't torque the knees. And then we're going to turn around and sit in front of the bolster. This blanket that you had folded up, you can use as a pillow. That feels really nice. So now I'm going to fix my tie. Now I'm going to take one knee. For me, I do one knee at a time because that feels better. So I'm turning it under and making sure the calf flesh is out of the way. If this pose is not, if it doesn't feel good on your ankle or your knee, then don't practice this pose. Some people feel good with both knees bent under at the same time. Some people want to sit on a block. The thing is, the higher you raise up your bum, then the props also need to raise up a little bit. So it's a seesaw. I like to practice one leg at a time, a couple minutes on each side. I'm going to have my eye mask ready to go. The other leg is straight. And then I lie back on the bolster and adjust the head support. I have another blanket nearby. What feels really good is to put it on the top thigh for a little bit of weight and across that low belly. And I open my hands to the side, cover the eyes. So this is opening now the front body, the low belly, and the whole fascial chain through the leg, the hip flexor, the quadricep, the hip flexor, and a gentle back bend in the lower thoracic, lumbar, lower thoracic. Take a few breaths on this side, and then I'll remind you when it's time to switch to the second leg. And now turn the palms down. Press yourself up. And take the second side. Gently unwinding that knee. And bending the second knee. Let the knee open to the side if it wants to. No need to hold the knees together at all. It's much more pleasant for the pelvis and for the female pelvis especially, and for the slight back bend if you let your knee open away from the midline. Press yourself up to sitting. So now we're going to practice a very simple shavasana with our 2 blankets and our bolster. I'm going to fold the blanket. All right, let me put my block away. All right, so 1 blanket is for your head. I'm going to do a special restorative yoga loop-de-loop head support, which you can find in Mom's book, Restore and Rebalance. So that's for your head. Take the bolster now and put it behind your knees and the soles of your feet together. Use the other blanket to cover yourself up for warmth. If I had socks, I would put them on. You want to be warm. If you have another blanket, you could put that across your low belly. Feels really nice on your cycle, or anytime when you're feeling drained, to put a little bit of weight on the body in Shavasana. All right, I'm setting my timer for us. We're going to stay for 10 minutes of silence, letting yourself be held by the ground. Eyes are covered. So I'm folding this and rolling this. It's too much to teach you today, but you could just use a pillow here. Chin is soft. The belly is soft. Open the arms. Breathe into the body, into the belly, into this moment. Shavasana. Inhale the breath. Exhaling. Bring your hands onto your belly. Thank you, belly organs, for all that you do. I don't appreciate you enough. You are an epicenter of health and functioning in my body. Thank you, uterus. Thank you, ovaries. Thank you, intestines. Slowly close the knees. And taking your time, roll yourself to the side. Press yourself up to sitting. You have now officially been restored. Thank you so much for your practice. Inhaling, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of your heart. Namaste. My practice supports you, and your practice supports me. Thank you. So grateful that you're here with me. Please subscribe to the newsletter, which you can find at lizzie.yoga. See you next time.